Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a Gundam video. Today I'm going to show you the beta deck that I went ahead and worked with for the beta release. So these are cards that came all in my one box of beta. I got really lucky, and I'll just tell you right ahead that I did get two Wing Gundams, including the one on the box topper. So I kind of just went ahead and went all in on that. So this deck that I built was meant to take advantage of two really solid mechanics. One being that a lot of the Operation Meteor cards have Breach, which damages your opponent's base with the attack, almost like a piercing in Digimon, for example. And then Char and his sets dropping tokens, right? So we kind of want to swarm the field a little bit with the Zaku 2s, which I also got two Zaku 2s, which is not a common thing. You might only get one, but I got two. So we took advantage of that, and then we have the Wing Gundam. So this is going to be a blue and green deck. Remember that you're only allowed to have two colors. However, most of it is going to be green. I'll just tell you that right now. It's mostly green, sprinkles of blue, just to kind of try to push it forward. So let's start with the base here. So I'm going to go ahead and start off by saying that I put in three Falmo base, and this one costs you 5 defense to defend your shield. And then, of course, when you add your shield to your hand, when you deploy it, and then it drops a token, a Zaku token. So this one goes over on top of your shield, drops a token, and puts a card in your hand. All of those are cool things that are going on. So you get to drop one of the Char Zaku tokens with just deploying this base. So you instantly put a body as well as set up a shield, which is a really nice thing to have, right? So 3 of those. I believe it should come with 4, but I thought 3 was enough. You don't want to have too many bases. Next, let's talk about the Char set. So I did get 3 Chars, right? Which is pretty solid. This is a pilot that has Zeon, so everything that Zeon will activate with it, as long will be able to attack right away when you link it. There's also cards that specifically want Char, but you'll see that when he is linked, when you attack during this turn, this unit gets +1 attack, and then it gains high maneuver. So it cannot be blocked with Char on there. This is +1/+1 on your Gundam, and as should be the case for your raw pilots. The burst means that you add this card to your hand. So I got 3. You get 2. That's still pretty good. Char does pretty well. Remember that this only works if you link, meaning the Gundam has to have the trait in it. For example, I got 4 Zaku 2s. This is a really good card. Drops for 1, only a level 2. When you attack with it, this unit gets +2. So he essentially, when attacking, is 3/2. That's really, really good for a 1 drop. So we run 4 of this guy. He's, of course, not truly need a specific pilot, but he does need a Zeon. So with a Char, you could be swinging for 4 and 3 here with high maneuver, and then because it can get linked, that's another additional 1. So you could be swinging for 5. This is a pretty strong combo with Char as the pilot. So we run 4 with Char. Next, the Zaku 1. He's just a 1-drop. You probably don't need to run this one as much, but I just like the fact that he drops for 1. He's a level 1. You could just very easily drop him turn 1 if you pick him up. If you have Char, of course, like I said before, you get quite a nice boost. High maneuver, +1/+1. Nothing crazy. Still solid. Next, Gelgood. This guy drops for 2, and he is 4/3. That's really, really strong. He, of course, needs a Zeon trait, which is going to be Char as well. So you can imagine that +2 and high maneuver situation. That's really nice to have. So all of these guys are getting boosted if you can get Char attached to them. So I'm doing that. I got 3 Rick Doms. This guy's got Breach, which is the same thing that a lot of the Wing Gundam cards will have. You'll see. Breach is for 2, so he can attack and destroys an enemy unit and still hit your opponent's base for some damage. So he'll do 2 additional damage. He's a 3/3. Char's boost, of course, will add to that. 2-drop, nothing crazy, still pretty good for that. And then I got my 2 Char Zaku 2. This guy, when paired, he drops a Zaku 2 token. That's really nice. And then when destroyed, you also have the same situation. So I'm sorry, you need to have both. You need to be paired, and then when destroyed, you'll get your token. So you don't want to. You're not afraid to swing with this guy. He drops for 2. You'll pop out a token, and the token can still attach a pilot to him if you have the right one. You could still attack with that guy. So I got 2, but obviously you may only have 1. That's all right. There's other cards that can take its place. So that's it for the Zeon stuff. All working with Char. The majority of this is going to be Gundam though. Gundam Wing. I do run the 2 heroes. Heroes just really good. When you have a unit, when this unit gets AP +1 and HP +1 when linked. So if you get a link going on, just +1/+1. In addition to his +2/+1, that's really solid. He drops for 1 at a level 4. And then here's the guy that I would love to have 4 of, but I think you should only come with 2. Your Wing Gundam, the basic one, 4/3 drops for 2. Really solid. Nothing else going on with it. It's pretty vanilla, except for the fact that you can link it with Hero. So if you have Hero, Yui, you're going to go ahead and link attack. You'll be able to attack right away. And you can see 4+2/+1. That's going to be a 7. 3+1/+1. That's going to be a 5. This is a 7/5 if you can get both. For 3 drop, that's really nice. That's really going to ramp up your attack. So if you can get these 2 cards doing work together, you'll love having that. That's pretty strong on its own. I also run 3 of the Wing Gundam burn mode. I happen to get 3. I believe I think I got 4, but 3 is plenty. They are kind of not super cheap, 3. And what they do is when you deploy them, they place 1 EX resource on the board. So the one that you use and goes away, you can place 1 with this. So this burn mode can help you get some of the more expensive or more of a board going on with the EX resource that it drops. It's a 2/2. With the ramp up with Hero, it would just be a 5/3, which is still pretty solid. So for dropping for 3 and 1 of Hero, that's really nice to have on there. Pretty good comboing attack. And then here, of course, come the 2 strong Wing Gundams. These 2 have Breach 5. They do quite a bit of damage when they destroy an opponent's Gundam. Level 6, so you need to wait quite a bit. So that's 2 is actually not that bad, because to get to level 6 it takes a good while. And then he drops for 4. He does need to be linked specifically with Hero, but the 4/5 with Hero is super strong. So you have a 7 basically 4/2/1 and 7 5/1/1. So 7/7 Wing Gundam with Hero. If you can get them both off, you get the Hero in your hand and you pick up the Wing Gundam, you are chilling. You are swinging for 7/7 with Breach. That is destructive. If you only have 1, that's still cool. If you have the other cards available, that's still pretty good damage. But you know, this double Breach 5, having this card more available to me just because I got 2 is really nice to have. But that's basically it for Hero and the Wing Gundam. Next, I run 4 of the Simultaneous Fire. This is a card that's an option, or rather a command. I'm sorry, I'm talking like it's Digimon. A command. But it also counts as a pilot. You can use Troa himself as if he were a pilot. This card drops for 1, level 4. What it does is Simultaneous Fire says that you can use it, choose one of your units, and it gains Breach. So you can give something Breach. You can give Breach to something like the Gilgug, boosted with a Char, and get Breach to destroy even more. Really solid thing to have. +1/+1. And Troa, of course, will work with his own Gundam, which we're going to talk about right now. The Gundam Heavy Arms, which I also run 4 of. I got 4. I run 4. While it is paired, this unit gains Breach 3, so it itself has Breach. So the Troa with Gundam Heavy Arms, you won't get any additional boost, but you do get to attack right away with it. You have a 4 and 5 with Breach 3 for a 2 drop. That's really nice to have. All in all, if you have both in your hand, you're paying 3 to swing right away with a 4/5 with Breach. That's really nice. So because it's not an expensive card, you can drop it early in the game. The Gundam Heavy Arms. 3 or 4 is not the strongest you can drop for 2, but it's really nice if you can get the Troa, which we run 4 of. We run 2 Changwu Fei. That's what we got. That's what we run. Another pilot, strictly pilot. +2/+1. Drops for 1. And then if you linked during your turn, if this unit has Breach, it can't receive battle damage from enemy units with 3 or less. In other words, your opponent needs to be strong in order to damage you back. That's pretty important. But you need to have a unit with breach. And as you'll see, many of the Operation Meteor Gundams do have breach. So you don't have to do Hero with Wing Gundam. You can wait a turn and do Chang and not take damage back. That's a pretty solid combo itself. Heavy arms, for example, during a pair. So it doesn't have to be Troa. During a pair, the Chang will still work with it. You won't take damage back and have a 5/5. Solid, good card. You definitely want to run these Chang Buffets with this combo set. And then, of course, his own Gundam, Shenlong Gundam, which itself has a natural breach 3. He drops for 3. He's a little bit more expensive. He's only a 4/3. But of course, if he has the link with Chang, which works really well. If you don't have to run, I think, 3 of these, but I just happen to. I could easily probably drop one of these. I'd probably rather have maybe something cheaper to drop than the 3 drop, but that's just what I'm doing. You don't have to do that. Next, 2 Peaceful Timbers. This is another command that doubles as a pilot. Quattro. During your turn, during this battle, so it's an action. Your shield area cards can't receive damage by enemy units that are level 4 or lower. Almost everything is level 4 or lower except in the game, except for Wing Gundam. And I think the other 2 legendary rares. It is really difficult to get something level 4 or higher. So this will basically stop your opponent from attacking. It's really nice. It also doubles as a pilot that drops for 1 for a +1/+1. There's nothing right now that links with Quattro specifically. But it's still really nice to have that stopping your opponent from attacking situation. So 2 of these guys works really well. And then moving on to basically the blue support. Kai's Resolve. This guy, you can recover 3 HP by dropping it as a 1. This is a command. This is just a recover 3. Or it could also be a pilot +1. Not super strong as a pilot, but he is a pilot. But the recover 3 could be clutch sometimes. It's a little bit of a tech, if you will. 2 gun tanks. I really like the gun tank. He drops for 1, but then when you deploy him, when he drops on the field, if your opponent has a rested unit, you can deal 1 damage to it. You can get a free damage to it, and if you have Kai, for example, you can link and attack right away for a 2/2. Nothing crazy. So I like that combo. It's a little nice cheap combo, if you will. There's also 1 Citizens Take a Stand. This is a command strictly, not a pilot at all. But what it does is all your units get +2 attack power. It essentially buffs everything that attacks. You already have breach. You already have some high damage potential here. All of your units getting +2 attack is going to be devastating to wipe your opponent's board, if you will. Because you don't really need that much attack power to get rid of shields, but if you're attacking into your opponent and wiping them out, this card will do a lot of work. And it drops for 1. That's really nice. So big buff damage to your opponent. And last but not least, 2 a show of resolve. This drops for 3. It's kind of expensive, so you wouldn't do this in the beginning of the game. But he's just a straight up draw 2. This card is just a straight up draw 2. Sometimes because you are dropping everything mid-game, you end up without that many cards in your hand. You might want to draw. Maybe you have all these resources and you just need cards to drop. Maybe you're looking for that Hito. Maybe you're looking for Char. Maybe you're looking for those cards that you don't have that many of. A Show of Resolve will work for that. I did get 4, but 4 is too many. I think 2 is enough. You don't want to end up with this card early in the game and not be able to do anything with it because it's a little bit more expensive than you think. You'd rather have, the combo pieces. You'd rather have the hero with the Wing Gundam, for example. You'd rather have Char with the Zeon, sorry. That type of stuff. So all of these came in my beta box. If I could, make my own changes to it, I definitely would go more Hito, Wing Gundam type of stuff. But this is something that's possible for beta. If you don't get the Wing Gundam, just go with something cheaper. If you don't get the Zar Zaku, this deck still works really well. You don't need to run 3 of the Shenlong. There's a little bit of room for some management and some change that you can deal with. Other cards that come, First Contact, you don't need to ramp up your resources that much right now. You could also run another Citizen Stand. If you get the Sandrock, he does get a deploy of a Maganak. That didn't really come up too much. He's just kind of expensive, level 5, 3-drop for 4/4 with Quatra as the only pilot available. It's alright. You could probably go with that. This is a good replacement for some cards. I don't like this as much as the Famal, which drops a token. But, I mean, it's up to you. Here's the Maganak itself. Obviously, you don't get the Sandrock drop if you don't have it. You can also have more Peaceful Timbres if you want to keep your opponent from attacking more often. That's it for the green. As far as the blue support that you could get, there's not a whole ton. In my opinion, at least, you could probably have balls, ball, right? You could have ball. He's nice, whatever, I guess. You also have other cards that you could use as part of your support. In blue, you could run more Kais, of course. If you really need to add more show of resolves, you can do that as well. Let me see. And then just cheap cards, really. You could run Amuro, but he's solid. He's a really good pilot, but I just don't think he fits here with the green that much. Although you can, pair with anything. When paired, choose one enemy unit with 5 or less HP and rest it. You can attack into it and breach. That's not a bad combo. I think Amuro works pretty okay here. He's not bad. Not bad at all. And then, of course, additionally from that, you can also run Gundams with it. He drops for 2. He's a 3/4. You pair it up with Amuro. He's doing some work. And then another one that I recommend if you don't have replacements, Razel. 4/3 for 2. Really nice. Really, really nice. Really solid. All right. That's it for my beta deck. I'll see you next time. Peace.